Okay, mystery fans, this one is for you. Imagine Gone Girl met their undoing at a jazz bar. They ordered a twisty cocktail with a side of psychological drama, and then Netflix said, yeah, we'll take that. That's where His and Hers lands, a limited mystery thriller that blends creeping tension with character forward drama and does so with genuinely compelling performances. Let's dig in. His and Hers plants its flag firmly in the mystery thriller drama territory. The story centers on Anna, played by Tessa Thompson, a former news anchor living a reclusive life, pulled back into the world when a murder in her hometown of Dahlonega, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Georgia, captivates her attention. Meanwhile, Detective Jack Harper, Jon Bernthal, lead detective on the case, finds himself strangely entangled in this murder, but no spoilers. This isn't your run-of-the-mill whodunit. There's a slow burn tension here, layered character, motivations, and trust issues galore, which as an anime nerd turned thriller reviewer means I was nodding a lot during the dramatic music cues. I should mention though that if this at first you were turned off by this series because you find the characters unlikable and horrible, you hate the people basically, stick with it. This is one of those where the characters and the story grow together. It's one of those that only become clear at the end of the story, even if you do guess part of the mystery, and I very much doubt you'll guess all of it. Even then, I'm sure that you will enjoy the ride, because when the reveals come, I was pleasantly surprised. Tessa Thompson as Anna, she brings this kind of measured intensity that feels very much like a character almost tipping over the edge. Almost. She's complex, smart, and clearly carrying an unresolved emotional history, which at first makes her unlikable. Jon Bernthal's Jack Harper is this ruggedly grounded dude with that millisecond, too quick, suspicious glance type of glance that he looks at you and you're like, you squirm because he's staring at you. Perfect energy to play someone who's a public servant and a potential wild card. There are some emotional moments between Tessa and Jon that really hit well, that took me by surprise. Pablo Schreiber, Crystal R. Fox, Sunati Mani, and Rebecca Rittenhouse round out the cast with varied energy, from subtle smiles to inscrutable stares, which is exactly what you want in a thriller like this. Faces you can't fully read. For me, though, Sunita Mani was a standout in this series. She doesn't have much screen time compared to the other two leads, but I loved her character. She's strong, an underdog sort of character, but one that keeps digging and digging, wanting to be the best detective she can be, but hindered by our partner. She plays this complex character with grounded flair. What works here is the constantly shifting narrative rhythm. There are intertwining perspectives, hinted motivations you're not quite sure about, and that delicious, should I trust that person energy that any good mystery does have, and that I think mystery lovers will salivate over. The pacing encourages theory crafting, which means you'll be pausing to jot down mental notes like a detective at Comic Con. Not actually physically pausing, but you'll be thinking about, like, who's done it? Who's done it? That's pointing at this person. I did that a lot throughout this series. If you love trying to map out logic before the last episode, you're definitely at the right place. Composer Mac Quayle, known for his work in tension-driven series, builds an atmosphere of understated unease. This is score rather than soundtrack, moments that sneak up on you rather than announce themselves. When a scene feels quiet, the music pulls back into a feeling of looming mystery. It's not thriller music for the sake of it in the blockbuster sense. It's methodical, it's like a slow heartbeat. Set against the heat and humidity of Atlanta and the more subdued surroundings of Georgia, the physical space mirrors the narrative tone. Sultry, immersive, and simmering under the surface. The series uses this to enhance the tension of the story, the community whispers that everybody seems to have, the small town vibes, and that everyone knows someone or knows someone who knows something feeling. At its core, His and Hers explores quite a few themes. You've got identity and perception, memory and truth, trust and the illusion of it, the gap between public persona and private turmoil. The show doesn't shout to these ideas, though. It weaves them into every glance, every hesitation, every camera angle, just staying a second too long on someone's face or name in a photo album, kind of hinting at what you should be piecing together. This is one of those stories where the journey matters as much as the end of the destination. Like, once it reveals, you're going to have really appreciated how they formulated the story. Each episode builds a web that pulls you deeper, but never feels random, even when it tries to mislead you. If you enjoy slow burns that reward attention and hold back key reveals until exactly the right moment, you're going to enjoy this. This isn't kid stuff though, it's Netflix's adult mystery thriller, and it has a lot of adult content in it, from violence and sex, psychological drama, rich character-driven narratives, and those who like to dissect narrative choices and mysteries and crime junkies, you're going to love this. His and Hers is a twisty character-driven limited series that feels made for people who like thinking along with the narrative. It's moody, deliberate, and clever without smirking at you. So how does it score on my Nicolas Cage scale? Well, it gets 4 Nicolas Cages out of 5. Not pure unhinged Cage, but I'm staring at clues and ignoring my dinner plans Cage. I won't be going back to this anytime soon because now that the mystery is revealed, it has very little longevity, but as a one-time watch, this limited series is definitely worth a watch. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review and found it informative and fun. What are some of the most underrated limited series you wish more people talk about? But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.